The non-patrons also see the YouTube episodes. Just they get the cut version.
Ah, well.
We bring in a moil and we take care of it. Howdy, folks, and welcome to episode 489 of the Dead Robot Society. I'm Paul E. Cooley, and joining me today, as always, my wingman of literary slumitude, Terry Mixon.
I prefer to think of myself as the wingman from Baba Black Sheep.
You know, nobody got that reference. Nobody got that.
No one? Really?
No one. I got that reference. Nobody else did.
Damn it, Jim.
And I think I watched that show when I was like 5, so it wasn't much of a reference.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Speaking of is what it is, how the hell are you, Terry? What have you been
doing? Great. I've been writing and getting things accomplished. I think I've gotten like 12,000 words written in the last week or so, maybe 10,000. But I'm happy with that.
Utter scum. And this is on what? Which book?
This is on the collaboration with Glenn Stewart. I have to deliver the middle 40,000 words, and I've delivered about 10,000 of them. I've got till the 25th to make the other 30 happen. I'm on course to meet it. I'm happy with that. I'm on course to meet it. If I could only speak, I would be awesome. My voice recognition software would thank me instead of adding all these really weird combination words that I have to go back and find.
That's terrible. That sounds just horrible. So that's all that's going on? You're just writing? Nothing else?
Scary, right?
I know. I'm shocked. I mean, usually there's like 15,000 doctor's appointments and house things to do.
Donna's decided that she's not feeling so great this week, so she doesn't have any doctor's appointments. Until I think she has one on Thursday. She's going to get her second knee brace. And so then I get to really start doing the whole noise whenever she walks somewhere. I think that'll be awesome.
I think you're going to get hit with a walker. That's what
she can't catch me. Not with those knee braces on. She can't.
She can reach you with her cane, though.
She knows where I sleep.
Yeah, you got to remember that. They know where you sleep. That always means you got to be real careful what you do, because nobody likes Bobbit time. That's usually a bad thing. There's another reference nobody got.
Everyone knows Lorena. Just cut it off. Gone.
Well, I sent Sever Press Destruction on Sunday.
And they sent back a note saying, stop kidding.
Yeah, right. So it's packaged up. I added cast of characters, added all this crap I've never had to add before. So all that stuff's in there, and it's off to them.
Whoop, whoop.
And we even got the back cover copy sorted out after I had 3 different people beat me to a pulp. So we got that.
Get that plot out of there. Get that plot out of there.
We got that fixed up, and that's part of that. So I haven't heard back from them yet. But Destruction's off my plate for the foreseeable future until I start recording, which will probably be very soon. And other than that, I've been working on Trident and waiting to have knee surgery. So
you really should find somebody else to record it for you so you can devote your full attention to writing the next book.
The problem, I want to finish Destruction. I want to get it done. I want the Derelict Saga to be nothing but my stuff, my voice.
I gotcha.
I don't want to change it midstream. So, that may be, as we've discussed, that may be the last book I narrate. We'll see. But regardless, it's getting closer to, as we say, nut cutting time, as far as getting all that done. And I had some problems with Trident this week, but I'm through them, I think. And now it's time to get into the nitty gritty of the story. With 10,000 words is set up, now it's time to go do some shit. So, yeah.
How many toe tags in that first 10,000?
None.
What?
None.
Who are you and what have you done with Paul?
None. Now ask me how many toe tags will be in the second 10,000.
All of them. The last third of the book is going to be nothing but blank pages because everyone's dead. It's
not going to be pretty. They're returning back to Trident Station and they have no idea what the hell's going on. So it'll be fun. So yeah, I'm working on that and had all these doctor's appointments and still don't have a schedule for my freaking knee surgery. So, but that's coming. And I'm so looking forward to it. Actually, I kind of am, because I would like to, stop hurting all the time. But that's probably going to put me down for a couple days. But I'm hoping I can write even then with my knee all propped up in the air, swollen to the size of grapefruits.
If things work out right, you'll get that done before Balticon, and you'll only be on a cane, or perhaps, somebody can bring you along one of those little stroller walkers with the little tennis balls on the front wheels, and then people can bling it out at Balticon for you.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, we're not doing this. If you're going to Balticon, you didn't hear a damn word he just said. You didn't hear a damn word he just said. Just block it out of your mind. It did not happen. Did not happen. Stop giving people ideas, Terry. They don't end well for me.
One word: bedazzled.
So, but apart from that, there hasn't been too much going on the writing front. We're kind of boring. Yeah, I'm working on this. That's it.
I see you're caught up in the spreadsheet. We're using the magic spreadsheet to write every day. It's working so far.
Yeah, it's working so far. I'm just not nearly putting down the words that I need to put down, but I've had some other shit going on, so fine. But
life happens.
I'm reaching for trying to get back to 2K a day and then go further from there. But Derelict Destruction just ate so much of my damn time getting that book ready. As expected, because it's 132,000 words after cutting. So there were a lot of things to look at, and I'm going to try not to have a panic attack for the next 4 weeks till it's published to sit there and wonder if I forgot something or everybody missed something big.
It's too late.
Huge.
Too late now. It's done.
I know, it's abandoned. Shit. I also need to discuss whether or not we're going to put out a box set of this puppy at some point. But
you should definitely, when you do that, if you do that, you should put together a boxed audio set.
Oh, I'll definitely do that. In fact, I don't need Sever Press's permission to do that at all. I can do that on my own. So I probably will. I will definitely sell one of those from my site. So you can go get, the full thing for all 3 books for like $20 or something. I'll definitely do that on my
There you
site.
go.
Yeah, with all the special features and rigmarole. So yeah, all the sound effects. All that good stuff that I do that, people like. Some people. I like it. I count. I matter, supposedly. Right? I do matter, right, Terry?
Sure.
Okay.
Couldn't do this without you.
Oh, it's so wonderful. Well, another person we could not do without would be our guest that we have today to talk about Archivos. Again, we have Mr. Dave Robison on, and we're going to talk about some milestones that reached and some improvements in the tool, and I think you'll enjoy it. With that, let's do it.
Yay!
Let's do it. One of the things we do on this show is we bring you writerly news, tools that can help you, and of course, personalities that are obnoxious as hell. Today, we are doing all 3. And with
Really? That's how you're getting into this? That's your intro? What a great segue.
I like it.
Once again, we have the charismatic, completely energetic, creative tornado known as Dave Robison on the show. So
coming to us live from an airplane bathroom.
35,000 feet above somewhere. Dave is a narrator and game designer. He's also invented this wonderful tool for us writers called Archivos, which we've talked about before. And now it is in open beta.
We're actually leaving open beta.
We're leaving open beta. That's
right. We're leaving open beta on April 27th. We are opening the doors, which means that the story catalog will be open to anybody that goes to app.archivos.digital. No login. We don't want your email address. You don't have to create an account. Just come and look at all the fabulous story settings, dig through the story web and the living map and the timeline. It's absolutely free. And we're changing the payment model. to include a free account. So that if you're a storyteller, you want to try out Archivos, you can get a free storyteller account, which gives you one private story setting, unlimited story elements to create, knock yourself out for all eternity. Bam, there you go.
I think we need to back up a little bit first, because people probably, there's going to be somebody listening that doesn't know what Archivos
what the heck is
Why
Archivos
don't you tell
is?
us what it is before you start extolling the changes?
We got Dave into the end of the show, not the beginning.
I know, right? Rewind. Okay, yes.
Comment about Creative Tornado.
Thank you, Terry, for being Captain Continuity. God knows I need that. As Paul observed during the pre-show, I am been demoing this thing like a mad fiend all over the world, apparently, and I've forgotten how to introduce the concept. Here's what Archivos is, okay? And recently, Dan Lehman Kennedy wrote a fabulous piece for the Archivos website that talks about the difference between plot and story. Plot is what happens. Story is why we care.
Right.
And the real challenge, I think, for every writer is plotting is easy. Events happen. Yes, lovely. How do we get people to care? And part of that is defining this textured environment of characters and places and events that interconnect, that engage with each other in a way that's relevant and meaningful and makes a connection. Archivos can help you create that story. Archivos is a story development tool that allows you to document the people, places, and events of your stories. It also allows you to interconnect them by creating relationships between events and the places where they took place and the people that participated in them. It allows you to create relationships between characters, parental, professional, personal associations. And soon you get this massive network of connectivity that allows you to see the context of your story, these patterns of association that literally does illuminate the story that you're trying to tell. And it helps you as a storyteller to identify those relationship patterns, those structures. There's a timeline so you can preserve continuity of events and make sure that characters aren't in the same place at the same time in two different locations. Mm-hmm. Always a good thing in your
that you don't kill the same person twice.
Yeah, bonus. Yes.
Don't change the name of a ship in midstream.
You don't change the name of a planet.
We're sitting there telling on ourselves.
Echoing. Yes, absolutely. So it helps you maintain and preserve continuity, be aware of that context. But the other cool thing is that once it's done, you can then take all of that work, do a little polish and clean up, and then push it out to the public so that your fans or potential fans can go through the displays of these different relationships and catch fire, catch the excitement, get curious about how this all comes together. And then, of course, we provide a place for you to put a link to your book on Amazon so people can click and make with the bye-bye. So it really is, it's a tool for developing the story. Once you write the story, then we can help you promote and engage your fans with that. That's the essence of what Archivos is. As we have discovered over the last, holy smokes, going on 2 years now of development, is that storytelling is not the only place that Archivos applies, or rather, everything is storytelling. Gaming certainly is storytelling. So role-playing games with these massive campaign backstories and ancient histories. Now game masters can document all of that and make it available to their players so that they can do their own research and explore other areas that they want to dive into, helping them invest in your game world more emphatically and more passionately. Education. I mean, history is just a story that actually happened. So, you can put this history of the civil rights movement into Archivos and then provide that as an education tool. There's a big push in education these days for project-based learning, allowing students to create an Archivos project as a school assignment would be a great way for them to not only learn the information, but again, understand how they feed each other and how they interconnect. We recently, I won't mention any names, but we actually spoke to a genealogy company talking about putting people's stories, life stories into Archivos. So there's a lot of different ways that stories can be told, and Archivos helps you with all of that. Thank you, Captain Continuity, for keeping me on track there. I appreciate that. Oh,
here's where I'm going to go ahead and mention that I saw an email from you that you are now on Archivos 2.0. Why don't you tell us what that means? What does that mean to everybody?
Let me do better than that. Let me show you. Can I show you? Is that cool?
Rock on.
Yes.
All right.
Please.
Let me do a bit of screen share, and I will show you exactly what that means. So version 2.0 is basically an evolution of Archivos based on the feedback and interviews and insights that we've gleaned from our beta testers ever since last August when we launched at Gen Con. We've been polling, we've been interviewing, we have been pulling information and observing how people use what they use within the app. Based on that feedback, we came up with Archivos 2.0. Now, what you're looking at here, this is the story catalog. These are all the story elements that have been made public. Storytellers, Archivos storytellers have created these stories and then pushed them out, shared them with the world so that other Archivos users can take a look at them. And we've got everything in here from, fan stuff like Lord of the Rings or the Orville. Up here, Shattered Worlds Palethos. That's my gaming campaign that I use for my friends. The Great Gatsby. Jennifer Melzer has been putting together The Great Gatsby as a classic literature story setting. So when you click on one of these, it takes you to the story summary page, which gives you a brief summary of what you're looking at, some of the featured story elements, and then more specific listings of the various places, characters, and events that are showcased in there. This view gives you access to the three, what we call the pillars, but they're the primary display modes of Archivos: the story web, the living map, and the timeline. The story web is the patterns of association that we were talking about, the connections, the connectivity between story elements. So here's Jay Gatsby, Nick Carraway, events like World War I or the murders, the murdering of Gatsby and the suicide. All of these things are story elements that Jennifer created to articulate this story setting. When you click on one of these, it opens up the summary profile, which gives you a brief summary. It also includes, remember we were talking about links to outside sources. Jennifer's compiled some great content here as far as New York Magazine, wiki articles, and so on, that when you click on them, it launches a new page and you can read deeper into what you're looking at. The full profile gives you a different set of breakdowns. You can have actually up to 10,000 characters for the full profile and a complete breakdown of all the connective elements. So for those things like events, different types of story elements. Obviously, we've got the story web, the living map, and the timeline. Story web is for general story elements. Living map is for maps. The timeline is for the events. This is an event, the murdering of Gatsby and committing suicide. These icons here will take you directly to the timeline so you can see where that fits in the context of things. And you can see there's a whole cluster of events here, which are all bunched together. That's okay. You can just zoom in and actually see on a day-to-day basis where each of these events occurs, what elements are involved with those. In this case, none. Oops. It's always a work in progress. But this gives you a continuity of characters who are involved, where it took place, when it took place, so on and so forth. And then we'll go back to the living map, which is a way to add geography to the connectivity. In this case, Jennifer set up a map of Long Island and then placed anchor points for East Egg, West Egg, Valley of Ashes, and the Plaza Hotel. And then clicking on these, again, does the same thing. It calls up the summary and if there is one, a full profile for that element. So from the public standpoint, this story catalog is where they're going to engage and explore all of those story settings. This hasn't changed too much with Archivos 2.0. However, this bar on the left-hand side is a brand new addition. One of the things that we heard time and time again is it's a pain in the neck to add new story elements. It's a challenge to get to the story settings that I want to, or to create a new setting. So this storyteller bar that, I don't know if you've noticed, is here all the time. Wherever you are in the app, this bar persists. And it will take you to your home as the storyteller. It'll allow you to create a new story element or a new story on the fly, or take you back to the story catalog. So this is always in your face. This is now what the storyteller's home base looks like. These are all of the story settings that I have created. Some of them are public, some of them are private. I'm still building my Avengers Infinity War story setting, but that's going to come out.
Nerd.
Another thing, total nerd, absolutely nerd. Well, and the fact that Archivos launches on April 27th, which is the exact same day that Infinity War releases. So we need to find some way to ride some of those hashtags to fame and glory. One of the other things that we've added is the recent activity list. And this will actually show you all of the different things that you have done over the last, however many, we go back 22 pages. But it will allow you to go directly to the thing that you were working on. If you were doing some editing on the Battle for Helm's Deep, you can click on this and it'll take you right into that story setting, right to that story element, and you can continue working. You can also navigate between the most recently utilized story settings across the top here just by clicking on the icon. Bam! Now I'm looking at the Infinity War story setting that I'm building. And even though it's private, even though it's not something that the general public is going to see, I, as a storyteller, can still see the story web for this particular story setting. So we can pop this bad boy open. There we go. So now it's getting busy. Now we've got the Infinity Gauntlet. We've got the various stones. We've got Thanos. And again, Thanos full profile, all the elements related to Thanos. There's some fascinating stuff in here. I'm really looking forward to finishing this and putting it out there, because there's some intriguing backstory that'll probably help inform the experience of the movie.
I have one comment about seeing all this. It's beautiful looking.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're going through things like this that you're showing right now, have you thought about adding an icon so that at a glance on any page, someone could know this is public, this is private? Because there's no easy way of seeing, if I'm looking at all these pictures, what is public, what is private. I can't tell. Unless I dig down.
I had the same observation as well. And you're absolutely right. This area over here on the right-hand side is totally going to have the full status of not just the story setting, but also if you're looking at a specific story element, what its status is as well. Yes, that's an excellent point, an excellent observation. Not something that we had considered initially. It's one of those things that we discovered after we pushed.
And I'm going to reiterate this because I understand on a per page basis having that there, but even when you're looking at this bottom of the screen where you've got all the different elements in thumbnail, if you'd consider adding something there besides the edit and the trash saying public, private, or whatever icons you use, that way you can see the whole thing and say, these things are public, these things are private. Can I sort them? That kind of nonsense.
That's an excellent idea. And that's very much, that's the whole idea behind user interface, is to have at a glance as much information, understandable information at your fingertips. And yeah, that's a great idea. I would absolutely love to see that, because we're looking at the individual story elements here. But if we go back to the storyteller home, being able to see at a glance which of these is public and which of these is private, that would be hugely helpful. I absolutely agree. And I'll make sure the team hears about that.
And the question that I had hinted at that I was going to have for you that you already know the answer to,
yes,
is for somebody like me that's building a story Bible in something like OneNote, is there a way to import something like that rather than have to enter it all over again?
At this point, no, sadly. However, that said, several things are in development. One, on the 27th, you will be able to export your information into an Excel CVS. You won't be able to import it yet, but you will be able to export. Import is one of the top priorities as we go forward. So once we get the import capability functioning based on the template provided by the output, then, Terry, you could export your OneNote data. I assume that exports to a CSV.
I've never tried. I don't know.
I would imagine I would be stunned if it didn't allow you to output in some digestible way. And then it's just a matter of formatting it into the format and a column setting that Archivos recognizes, and then bam, you can upload. But at this point, no, it's going to be a lot of copy and paste. I apologize.
It is what it is.
But I can actually offer you some help in that on the 27th, we're going to be adding a feature that's not currently displayed here. As you look at a story setting, these are the story setting configuration page that lists the description and the type of story and so on and so forth. Down here at the bottom, there's going to be add users to your story setting. And this is a feature that will allow you to add multiple collaborators to give them edit access to your story setting. So, Terry, if you've got Uber fans that are just digging your story setting, and in exchange for the promise of free ebooks for all eternity, they will copy all of that OneNote information in there into Archivos for you, then you can give them access to your setting, give them edit privileges to add and edit story elements, and let them go to town. So for any sort of shared world environment, any sort of collaborative storytelling experience, this blank area here is very quickly going to be occupied by the opportunity to add collaborators and editors, or just add people who can see the setting. Right now, my story setting is private, but we're also going to add the ability to give certain individuals, people that you invite, the ability to view it in the story catalog as though it were public. So if you want to give a prize to your Patreons or to your mailing list or what have you, then you can give them access to your private story setting, and they can go through and see all the story web, living map, and timeline coolness when no one else can. So
basically this is going to end up, this would end up kind of taking place of a wiki. You know, like
very much so.
Very
much so. In fact, we kind of refer to this as a visual wiki. Certainly, just in the context, when you look at things like Infinity War, which is an established story setting, and you start looking at this display, it says, oh, this is the information about the canon of this world. Got it. But by the same token, it can also be a tool to help you build that story. In this case, we're working with an established canon that goes back decades. But as you have found, Paul, when you create a story and start building in all of that documentation for continuity and so on, it becomes hell. Yes, it becomes hell, definitely. But it also becomes, yes, very much a visual, interactive wiki that instead of having to look at pages and pages of walls of text, you can actually click and zoom and double click to redraw and drill down into the story setting until you find the thing that you're really interested in, look at its profile, look at the full profile, and go from there. So yes, it is very much a visual wiki, but so much more.
I think at this point, I've already put derelict in here to a certain degree.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's gonna kind of help me keep up with what I'm writing right now, because I have to go back and look at where everything is and start putting in the major events and observations and everything else. And this will definitely help me not have to do search through everything to try and find it.
Exactly. And all of this is going to be searchable at some point, certainly before the 27th. It was just searching in the story elements listing. There is going to be a list view. There is going to be a search. It was just a matter of time. It's going to be out there. But one other thing that we added to Archivos 2.0, relationships. Here is the story element configuration for Thanos. Relationships used to be down here at the bottom. Now we've pushed them out to their own page. And now we're looking at the story elements that Thanos has connections to in some way, shape, or form. And as you create these things, God, I actually created them all. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and remove Gamora. Delete. All right. And now Gamora, if I refresh, she should be gone. The adding of a relationship now looks very different from Archivos 1.0. Now I can see very clearly I'm working with Thanos. Who do I want to create a relationship with? You start typing the name. I want to set up with Gamora, but you can also create a new element on the fly if you want to. So it's Gamora. In this case, Gamora, it's familial. Thanos is the parent of Gamora. Bam, done. And now it actually writes the sentence for you, so there's no guessing as to, wait, which is it? How does it? Boom, there you go. If that's what you're looking for, there you go. You can also now parent of, that's awesome. Here's an interesting tidbit. Thanos is not the actual parent of Gamora. He's the adoptive parent of Gamora. And we don't have a thing for adoption in here. We didn't want to get too detailed and too specific. Otherwise, this list of checkboxes is going to be a mile long and it's going to be cumbersome. So we've added relationship tags. And now you, as the storyteller, can come up with your own nomenclature, whatever you want. You want adopted? Awesome. And the fact that I've actually used it before means it's going to show up again. As you use tags, Archivos remembers the tags that you've used, so you can use them repetitively and start using them as a grouping and filtering tool to see all of the relationships of this type or that type. And now that it's done and saved, I can publish the changes. And now I've got Gamora as an adopted child of Thanos. So that's very exciting for us, is these relationship tags. This is unlocking the full imagination and creativity of application for every Archivos storyteller out there. We're going to be adding tags to story elements as well. So you can tag, characters for book 1, book 2, book 3, or if you're developing stuff, you can say this event happens in act 1, act 2, or act 3. You can use it chronologically. You can define them by association. There's 100 different ways you can do this. And then of course you'll be able to search and filter by those tags as well, giving you as the storyteller the opportunity to define your own structuring unique to your specific story setting. God, I sound like an ad.
I probably didn't notice it as it went by, but when you deleted that, there was a pop-up that said, "Are you sure?" Right?
He said uncertainly.
Yeah, I believe there was.
I think that there might have been, but I thought I should ask that because that's kind of important when you delete something and then it all goes away and you don't have.
Where did it go? Yes. Yeah. There is the "Are you sure?" We try and cover your butts as much as possible.
Now you just need to add a "just kidding" button. Just kidding. Just undo it.
Well,
Psych.
Actually, when you create a story, if I remember correctly, there is a big red button to nuke it.
Yes, there is at the details all the way at the bottom. At least there was. I don't know if they took it out. Oh, they took it out. It'll be back.
No, it's not. It's next to the publish changes.
Is it
publish or delete? Don't click the wrong button. Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, unpublish or delete story setting. Yes. And I'm not going. Well, yes, I am. I have absolute confidence in my team. They would not let me do this without a confirmation.
Here we go.
Here it is. Faith. Oh, I'm saved. That was a leap of faith, and I trust my team. They know what they're doing.
And Dave's also like, yeah, I've got a database backup. Not a problem.
What's really at risk here?
So seriously, if somebody makes a mistake and deletes the wrong thing, is there a way to undo what you just did?
At this point, no. Any time that there's a serious deletion, we will give you a confirmation window, but we're not full on Google yet where you can undo an action like that. So
Okay.
we're building towards that. And that's certainly the vision for what we want this community to be. But there's so much awesomeness to come, so many things to be built into this. That's definitely one of them. One of our mandates is very much to make sure that at every turn, at every opportunity, we not hold hands, but we support the users as best we can. The first version was not great with that. The second version's better. The third version is going to be even better after that. But we're very committed to that. Check out all these genres, man. We have got every genre in the universe now. I was called out for having romance in the other genre ghetto of version 1, and rightfully so. So I made sure that would never happen again. So now we've got Westerns, we've got nonfiction formats, we've got romance. In fact, I need to set up media graphic novel comics. Yeah, save that bad boy. And other things that fall under different categories.
Scale back up a second. I have a question for you here, but I was moving by there. While you do indeed have romance as a subcategory, as its own category, romance is an element that could appear in any of those. Just saying. Which
is why you can select up to 4 genres for your story setting. So you can have fantasy, science fiction, romance.
Tentacles. Paul needs tentacles.
No, I does not. I does not.
I got monster. I've got extreme monster.
Yeah, that's always
Lovecraftian. That kind of implies tentacles.
Science fiction, romance, erotica, tentacles. That's Paul all over.
Oh,
that's harsh, man.
Wow.
So
yeah, I need to write a tentacle porn book. I'm probably sell better than anything else I've ever written.
There you go.
Which is terrifying idea because y'all are weirdos.
There's other stuff in here. Obviously, you've got your little icon symbol and your backdrop stuff. That's kind of implied. One thing that is kind of cool about this is that we've added a tool to edit your graphics as you upload them. Let's see if I can find that one. There we go. So now you can literally size and scale the image.
That's cool.
And position it where you want so that the avatar then is centered and focused rather than chopping off the top of their head or whatever. I'm going to stop sharing now because I have shown you all the fabulosity I can.
So on the 27th, you exit beta. What does that mean?
Basically it means a great many things. One, it means that this thing is as stable and as reliable and functional as we can make it. So it's kind of a promise to users that, your data is safe. The functions are going to work as advertised, and there won't be nearly as many surprises as there were during beta. And anybody that's been in beta can attest that there have been, oh, I'm sorry, you have to delete all your story elements and start over again because we changed the database, or other elements like that. So it's a promise that we're stable. It's also, exiting beta means we're not closing the doors anymore. Now it's public. Now the story catalog can be accessed just by typing in the URL. No login, no giving over of your email address. You can look at the story settings in the story catalog for free and play all day long. It's also a shift in the revenue model, in the subscription model that we're working with for Archivos. We've included a free subscription that includes a story setting. So you can have one of these story settings to play with on your own for all eternity for free with our blessing. We hope you get good stuff out of it. There are 2 other levels of subscription. The next one up is personal. Personal gives you unlimited story settings because I guarantee you, as every writer in your audience knows, as soon as you start writing one story, 5 more show up in the background, and you're going, you got to write me too, dude. Sorry, that's just the way it is. So the natural escalation is to the personal account, where you can have unlimited story settings, make as many as you want. They stay private. You can't share them, but it's unlimited private story settings for the personal level. And that's going to be $6 a month. Professional level is the next tier up. That's $8 a month. That gives you all the infinite story settings. You can share them to the story catalog. You also get access to the collaboration features and the invitation only features, the grouping features. So it's designed for those storytellers that want to share their stuff and engage their fans and their listeners in some way. Or collaborate with other writers and build story settings that way. So that happens on the 27th. That's what happens when we exit beta there as well. The other thing about exiting beta is it's not that we're done, but we're done enough to share it publicly and feel confident that what we're offering has a value, that it's going to help, that it's going to support, that it's going to entertain, that it's going to educate. And I am feeling very confident that we've reached that stage. I am very proud of what the team has done in pulling together Archivos and bringing this mad vision that I've been carrying around with me for about a decade now to actual reality. And now we go to the next step. Now we see if enough people agree with me that it can become a sustainable software development studio. So that's where we're at.
And by the way, if something goes wrong, you need to go ahead and have a little video pop up of Gomer Pyle going, surprise, surprise, surprise.
Well, no, let's not do that.
See, this is why you don't do UI, Terry. That would lead to death threats, and there would be Archivos gate all over the place, and it would be splattered with my blood, and rightfully so.
My sense of humor is going to be the death of me.
It will, or me, one of the two. So thank you for the suggestion. We'll take that under advisement.
I was actually asked by one of the companies that built stuff for it to, in certain cases, have a dialogue box with the cancel and OK flipped.
Oh, that's rude.
And says, "Are you drunk?" And says, yes or no. And then once you click on that, it says, "Are you sure you're not drunk?" OK, cancel. I did not implement that, but
good.
I thought about it.
Good.
I really thought about it for those people.
I think anybody in that position to actually influence and manipulate the dialogue boxes and the logic chains of software, you have power. You have great power. Use it responsibly.
No, I'm going to have great power and use it completely irresponsibly.
Are you drunk? I don't care.
It's like the Will Smith version of your superhero.
Oh, God.
Oh,
yeah.
Hancock, yes.
Drunken on the floor.
There you go. Bouncing off buildings.
Yeah, while drunk, because why not? That sounds like a really good idea.
That was an awesome movie.
It was. I own that sucker. That's in my DVD collection, by golly.
Never seen it. Never seen it.
It's lovely. It's wonderful. It's not a waste of time. Let's put it that way.
Unlike Hot Tub Time Machine and Hot Tub Time Machine 2. See,
I swear to God, those are not a waste of your time.
I will find out tonight.
Waste of my brain cells. So for me, in looking at this for Soul and Beyond, for Exo War, Derelict, all this other crap that I've got going on, and having just sent Derelict Destruction to the publisher and now writing the next book in the series, I'm already seeing how the elements and everything else are going to play into this. And I know I'm going to be adding more characters, and it's going to be like, I'm already having this problem with, who did I kill in this book? Who did I kill in this book? And I know the Black Four is going to be the same way. It's like, I have all these characters. What am I doing with them?
See, once we get story element tagging in there, one of your tags is going to have to be dead.
Yep. It's going to have to be.
You can just tag all of your characters dead as you kill them.
In fact, Dave, you're going to have to make a special version of Archivos, add special features for me, because I'm going to need this new relationship model that says killed by.
Fair enough.
And then
Fair enough.
and then a location with where, and then a huge text box describing the death.
And what you need to go ahead and have a toe tag dialogue for him where it says toe tag yes or no.
There we go. There we go. I like that. I like that. So that'll be my tag, toe. I'll just call it toe.
Toe tag. Do a search for toe tag. Yes, here's the toe tag list right there. I love it. Brilliant.
Well, it looks like I started using it way back when.
Early adopter is what you are.
Early adopter. And hell, you and I were talking about this, 4 or 5 years ago, I guess.
Yep.
So I've gotten to see how the application has evolved, and you're definitely almost there. Almost there.
No,
that's true.
Use the A word.
Well, I mean, I think April 27th, when new features come, it's going to be there. There's going to be a few things that I definitely would like to see added in the future, but I know that's a lot of that stuff Dave and I have talked about, and I know it's on the roadmap.
Yep, very much so.
And what I do love about this is the constant iteration after iteration, basically going through, finding out what works, what doesn't work, and then going back and fixing it, massaging it, taking input from the users. Those are the best kinds of software. And I really believe, since you're so damn passionate about this thing, that it's going to get there.
Well, thank you. And yeah, I learned early on that I can't anticipate all the things. We would have come up with a very different application if we hadn't done the queries and the interviews that we did early on. I had this whole different set of features that I said, we need to do this and this and this and this. And then the users are going, no. That's not how this works. That's not how this works at all. This has got to be like this, this, and this, or I'm out of here. It's like, you win. You absolutely win. So yeah, we rewrote the roadmap, and we will continue to do so. There are still things that I'm passionate about that I think need to be in there. But the user is always going to have top priority, especially for a tool like this that is so tied to the individual creative experience of the people that are using it. We've got to have that open dialogue. So we're going to keep doing that.
Well, I'd like to be able to basically just link to the story web from my ebooks, and then have people be able to, at the end of the book, click on that, or, go look at the story so far or whatever else, and be able to add that feature there as what a wiki would do, but with like you were saying, with graphics and contextual information. I mean, that's killer.
That would be awesome. Killer. Technically, you can, since each display mode of Archivos is a web page. You could go to the living map or timeline or story web display that you want.
Yeah.
Have it look the way you want, copy that URL, and then drop it into your ebook. And away you go. Let me double check with my team on that initially, because if that URL changes, then things get wonky, and I think
it looks to me like it's fungible. It's bookmarkable.
Yes.
Looks like it anyway.
Absolutely. Well, and it's one way that you can connect, if you have two different story settings, one's the backstory of this character, and this one is the main story that you're telling. If you want to link this character story element from the story that you're telling to his backstory setting, you just copy the link to that view and then put it in the related links for that character in the main story setting. And now you can click and go from one story setting to the other and bounce them back and forth. We're going to make that more programmatically intuitive in future iterations, but there are some very simple kludges that will allow you to connect story elements across story settings so that you can really leverage that unlimited story settings. Yes, make 500. We don't care. And then interconnect them and cross them. Yes, do it. We're ready. We're ready.
You shouldn't challenge Paul like that, because now he's going to go nuts.
Well, let's see. So far, I've got 4 more books that need to be written for Exo War and Derelict, and people want another one on top of it. I keep getting asked about. So yeah, this would be very nice to keep shit straight.
Yes.
Keeping things straight is always good.
So well, yeah, we've talked about this before, Terry, and Dave hinted at it earlier. We're building universes here, and the more that you work on that, the larger scope it gets, the more difficult it is for you, the creator, to manage, let alone the readers. So, having a solution for both is definitely the way to go, I think.
Definitely.
Me, though.
Definitely. Yep. And there's so many features, like the ability to duplicate a story setting. You created one for yourself, for your story world. You want to share it, but there's so much spoilerific information in there. It'd be nice if you could just copy that setting and then go through and edit it rather than recreate it from scratch. That's the sort of thing we want to provide to make those adaptations and interpretations of information easier for you guys. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would like that. I would like that very much.
So once you go live, what kind of things are already on your horizon for 3.0?
Okay, 3.0.
Oh yeah, we're not going to go ahead and just have this little incremental number. We're going to whatever the next increment is.
That's a good question. We are discovering as awareness of Archivos increases in various industries and communities around the world, we're discovering there are, what a shock, a lot of different ways to apply it. Gaming, certainly, genealogy, certainly, education, certainly. I've got a long history with educational software, and I would love to see Archivos, a different version of Archivos, a duplicate. I don't want to change what we're doing here from a storyteller standpoint, but I would love to see the same concept reworked for the education industry. So that you can have quizzes and upload essays and allow teachers to assign projects to complete this story setting for World War II, whatever. But have it be a tool that facilitates learning and education among our youth. That's one thing, and that's going to be huge. That's going to be a massive user interface adjustment. That's going to be a database adjustment. That's all going to happen there. For this version, for storytelling, I want people to be able to write stories in this setting. Version 3.0 of Archivos is going to allow people to write fan fiction in your setting and upload it and have it be available for you to approve or not, but allow people to engage and add to the canon of the world with user-generated content if you, as the storyteller, decide that's cool. I want to include a gallery of content, not just a single image for the story elements, so that you can upload audio or video or multiple images to be associated with a story setting or an individual story element, to allow for a more media-rich experience of the Archivos vibe. I want to tie in more closely with publishers and provide them with an opportunity to use Archivos to inform people about the awesomeness of their lines. So 3.0 is a long darn way away, but we've got ideas. We have all kinds of ideas.
Well, you should go ahead and make a version of this for the CIA so they can track all these spies.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and we were even talking about how, like the United Nations could benefit from Archivos, having each department in each country and the staff therein. Nobody knows what they do or where they are or where they're based. This could be a great way to find, where are they in Germany? Well, here's all the German UN offices, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, definitely. We will. I'm sure the CIA already has a copy if they don't.
The NSA has a copy.
Good point. Yes. We'll have to.
Yeah, we'll just steal it from the NSA. That's how that works.
Oh,
once it's in, okay. Once it's in the system, I'm sure they'll be ripping each other off.
Well, I'm really excited to see. I know you're always interested in getting suggestions and everything else for how it goes. So DRS listeners, get on this thing and start breaking it.
Yes, kick those tires.
What's this whole coupon thing?
Yeah, what is this coupon thing again?
Coupons. Well, because the dead robots are the foundation of a lot of my engagement with the storytelling world. And as such,
we're sorry. We're very sorry.
Yeah, we're very sorry. We apologize.
we didn't mean to activate the Robison, but we did it. And now he's here and we can't,
we can't stop him.
I want to show respect and appreciation to my fellow dead robots by offering a coupon code that becomes active on April 27th and will remain so. Will stay valid for at least a couple of weeks after. And let me see if I can find that bad boy. Sorry, guys. Professionalism. There it is. DRS Rocks 9255 on April 27th when registration opens up. Dead robots everywhere will be able to enter this coupon code when you sign up for a registration, and that is going to net you 50% off for 3 months. What did I say? Holy crap! I don't even know what.
You never told us. We don't know.
Really? It was a surprise. DRS Rocks.
Surprise!
Oh, I am done screen sharing. I will tell you exactly what awesomeness this nets you.
I'm just waiting for Terry to have to use Archivos to catalog his cats.
Oh my God!
Let's not get too out of control now. Hold yourself back.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. The saga, the feline saga of the Mixon, of House Mixon. Yes, make it happen. All right. I was underestimating the awesomeness of this particular coupon code. This is good for 50% off for an entire year.
Wow.
This is a year's worth of Archivos at 50% off. So if you want to use it at the professional level, that's only going to cost you $4 a month. If you want to use it at the personal level, that's down to what, $3 a month. So this is my love letter to the robots out there. 50% off for a year of Archivos because DRS rocks. And it truly does.
And folks, let me point this out to you. I'm sure this is obvious to everybody. The difference between $3 and $4 is a whole dollar a month. Splurge. Treat yourself here, will ya?
Well said. Agreed. I don't want to tell people how to spend their money, but that's kind of the idea behind the whole pricing thing that we used was like, we want to keep this thing affordable. We want to keep it accessible to the people that are going to be using it. I have received counseling from some business development people saying, Dave, people would pay 20, 30, 40 bucks a month for this.
Not storytellers. We don't have that kind of money.
Ba-bam. So yeah, that's kind of the point, really, is that I could do that. And I have no doubt that they're right. They're business development people. They know how people spend their money, and somebody out there would pay 20 bucks a month for this thing. But the people that I know that are a part of my family and my community couldn't. And so one of the perks of being the evil genius behind something is you get to say how much it costs. God damn it.
Well, you need a corporate version. That's what you need. You need a corporate version that has the higher prices specifically for those pesky corporations.
There you go. Exactly. Well, we do have an enterprise level engagement that we're still developing where we will actually spin up your own Archivos server and then change the graphics to reflect your branding and your company. We're not sure how much that's going to cost yet, but that is definitely an option. So yeah, or we could just say the corporate version is 20 bucks a month. No, the features aren't any different than professional.
Well, obviously, the default corporation that you have to have for them before they join up is,
Acme.
Tony Stark's corporation.
There you go.
It needs to be Acme.
Acme
with all the Looney Tunes characters. That predates Iron Man.
Yeah, I'm sure the licensing for that won't cost you anything.
Hey, fair use, baby. We're not claiming ownership. This is fair use under the under Creative Commons.
Good luck when the mouse comes for you.
Oh, dude, even today there are real companies named Acme. There's a billion of them.
There's a grocery store. I know that, or there used to be anyway.
That's frightening. That's very frightening.
See, that was
more strange tidbits of information you get from the walking encyclopedia of insanity that is Dave Robison.
That's right. Well, honestly, we're all walking encyclopedias of insanity, just of different things. We were talking about that earlier too.
Yes, we were. So you're going to be demoing this. You're going to be at all sorts of cons in the next month and a half, right?
That's correct. Next place that I'm going to be with the Archivos experience is going to be the Nebula Convention, the SIFWA Nebula Convention Conference, where they're giving out the Nebula Awards. Terry, you're going to be there, so we'll be arm in arm, strolling like Dorothy and Toto.
I plan to be at the presentation you're going to be putting on, dressed in a cheerleader uniform with the pom-poms to cheerlead you on.
I do not want to see posts. Pictures.
I do. I want video. I'm going to bring my video camera. I want that. Go, Dave. Go, Dave.
It's bad enough that there's pictures out there with me in a rainbow colored tutu.
Here's a hint for you folks. Short skirt.
Brain bleach.
There's not. I'm going to go drink some freaking Clorox right now. So in addition to that con, you were saying.
And at that con, we've got we're doing a demo on Thursday. We're hosting a party, an after event party on Friday, and a luncheon on Saturday, all for Archivos. So lots of opportunities to engage there. After that, we will gather, Paul, you and I, at Balticon and celebrate the Baltimore experience with seafood and revelry, as we always do of the Memorial Day weekends. After that, and I've got three panels. John Walker, the awesome John Walker, has given me 3 panels for Archivos, talking an introduction, Archivos for gamers and Archivos for educators. So those will all be panels at Balticon. I'm doing the American Library Association conference in New Orleans at the end of June, which is going to be huge. And then I take July off.
What?
I know, right?
You slacker.
But that's okay. I make up for it by doing Gen Con and World Con in August, and then the mighty CanCon in Ottawa in October. So it's going to be a full year of Archivos goodness internationally. International Archivos goodness for all.
And Dave is never going to sleep again.
I may not leave the house after
you come back.
It's like, I'm going to hire minions. I need people to do this. I'm not going to another convention as long as I live.
There's a promise that's not going to be kept.
Yeah, really. That's a lie. You know, that's not going to happen.
So basically, and you've also been doing demos on Facebook Live.
Yes.
Right?
Well, actually, I haven't done one in the Archivos site yet. I did a dress rehearsal on my personal feed because I've never done it before.
Yeah.
But it worked really well, and I use the OBS studio for all the cool graphic sexiness around there. So yes, starting later this week, in fact, well, whenever this airs, by the time this airs, yes, there are going to be demos at least once a week, if not more, on the Archivos page on Facebook, which is facebook.com/Archivos Stories. That's ARCHIVOS Stories. And that'll get you in there. Follow the page, and you'll be in the groove as far as all of those demos. Absolutely.
Cool. Awesome. I love it.
I do too. And it's a good thing because I've been living and breathing this bad boy for 2 years now.
Yes, I know. It's been a long time coming. I'm very, very excited to see it's coming to fruition. That is just freaking awesome.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but I can't wait for people to actually be able to just fall into it and start discovering what's going on. And we found so much out about this thing over the last couple of years of development. I can only imagine what the next 2 years is going to be. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, and I'm ready for it. Bring it.
Yes. This is where you do the evil Mr. Burns.
Yes. Excellent. I kind of look like him too, now that I'm thinking.
Well, you can find our Archivos at Archivos Digital, at Archivos.digital, excuse me.
It's good.
And that has all the information and all the videos and all the other stuff that Dave has posted about it. And of course, you can access the app from there. At least you will be able to on April 27th.
Bam. Exactly.
So on April 27th, go there, sign up for it, use the coupon code, and get in there and kick the tires. Take a look around. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm using it, and it's definitely going to help with the next 3 books, because otherwise I'd lose my freaking mind. So it's helping me right now, as a matter of fact.
So Paul Cooley fans, you're welcome.
We'll try and keep the
now we just
continuity
need a toe tag song.
The toe tag
The
song.
toe tag song.
Oh man, if somebody makes the toe tag song, I'll definitely put it on the page. It'll definitely happen. It will
You're
definitely
dead.
happen.
You're dead. You get a toe tag.
So,
You're
is
dead.
there anything
You're dead.
else you would like to pimp other than Archivos?
At this point, no. I will say that Archivos does have a podcast that releases pretty much every other week as it adds in the average of things. It's the Archivos Podcast Network, where we interview authors and then invite writers onto the show to brainstorm story ideas. That is ongoing. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Archivos Stories. And at Writers Podcast, both of those, one's for the podcast, one's for Archivos. You get the idea. So, but yes, that's it. I'm done pimping. No, I'm not going to talk about Manifest. Manifest is not something I have bandwidth for right now. My brain would explode if we started talking about that. So no, nothing else, Paul. Thank
Manifest is your destiny.
you. It's a manifest destiny.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Why? Just why?
Karma. Paul, apparently you screwed up somewhere in your
I
past.
guess so. I don't know how I ended up in this situation, but I definitely did have a conversation with somebody about it.
Dude, it could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
It could be worse. Well, I guess we should wrap this up. If you have questions about Archivos, you can send us an email at show@debrobotssociety.com. You can put you can tweet me. You can tell Terry to kiss my ass at kissmyass.com.
Everyone should do this right now. Go immediately.
I have no idea where that URL goes. Ignore everything I said.
Oh Lord, I gotta know. I gotta know what's there.
I don't know. I didn't go.
Or you can join the listeners of the Dev Robot Society Facebook group where all the insanity happens. You can find us at devrobotssociety.com. Obviously, the podcast is available on iTunes. You can look at the episodes on the website. We would be remiss if we didn't thank our wonderful host, Pod Hoster, for making all 14 bazillion episodes of the Dev Robot Society available for your ear holes. You can find our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DRS podcast if you want to look at our ugly mugs. And you can also help support the podcast by joining up at patreon.com/DRS podcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can help us keep the lights on, or get access to exclusive content, including live shows. And if you're at the $10 level, you get your name read every single week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dude.
Which brings us to this week's Lunatics.
See, Dave, this is where they get to torture Paul every single week.
Did they put in names that are unpronounceable?
Yeah,
they put in quotes in the middle of their names.
As you'll see in a moment. So this week's $10 rewards are Sue ZQ Bayman. I have no idea what the hell that means. Nathan Crosby, Anmanatsu, Tracy Bodine, John Kilgallen, Devin Lee, Caleb Paul Loves Poontang Pie James. I can't believe I just said that. Nathan,
and you cut me out of the other thing I said earlier, and you're going to say that? Wait a minute.
I just read it. You had to say it. You didn't have to say that other thing.
Nathan Killbot 3000 Petty, Drew Thomas Reed Red Shirt. Is he Ali what? Ali Ababwa Bernardi. God, I hate you so much, Drew, right now. Chris Winder, Isabel Shubiduwa Kushi, Andre Conde Morez, DJ Chamberlain, Jonathan Zarusin, and J.R. Handley. Thank you, folks, very much for your support. Helps keeps the podcast free and keeps the lights on, and does things like help me get a new hard drive, without which the show would not be able to be done.
Bonus. Well done, gang. Everybody.
Yeah,
well done.
Thank you for keeping my computer on so I can write and produce YouTube and audio. I really appreciate it. So did I forget anything, Terry?
Nope. I think you're good.
I think I got it all. I think I did. Well, Dave, awesome. Thank you very much for coming on. As always, you've been a fantastic friend of the show, and man, I'm so excited for you. April 27th, man.
Absolutely. That is the day. And thank you guys. It's always like coming home when I get to come on the show, and it's a delight. Thank you.
So
it's
April
our pleasure.
April 27th, we'll raise our shot glasses.
Indeed. Try and crash the servers. Go ahead.
Oh, there you go. Famous
Now
last
you've done
words.
Now you've done it.
Dude, I'm on AWS. So
Yeah.
if they can crash Amazon,
Yeah, we got issues. We got issues if that happens. Big issues.
bring
Anyway,
down the
folks,
internet.
we will see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Say goodbye.
Cheers.